Iran has offered to mediate between India and Pakistan. While Pakistan has welcomed this move, New Delhi has not commented on this, as India has always said that the issue between India and Pakistan is of bilateral nature. Apart from this, India has also got the support of 4 out of 5 permanent members of UNSC, which are US, UK, France and Russia, excluding China. To talk on all these aspects and much more, I'm now being joined by Harshvardhan Shringla, former Foreign Secretary of India. Welcome to WION, Mr. Shringla.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. With regard to the Iranian foreign minister's visit and Iran's own position, I think traditionally, obviously, India has said that any issue relating to Jammu and Kashmir has to be dealt with bilaterally. There is no place for any international mediation or intervention. So I think that aspect or that effort by Iran to suggest intervention has already been, I think, dealt with. The Iranian foreign minister has not only unequivocally and strongly condemned that act of terrorism, but I think the president of Iran has also called Prime Minister to express condolences. The foreign minister is currently, I believe, in Pakistan, but he will go back to Tehran and then come here, and thereby signaling his very clear intention that to dehyphenate his visit from India, Pakistan. I think so. He will look at it separately, and he will, I think, his focus will be on issues that are of bilateral interest, and some, obviously regional and global issues also could be discussed. But certainly not any effort at mediation, despite the fact that Iran is a neighbor of Pakistan's. But whether it's the United States, the European Union, or any of our other partners, I think we have made it clear that these issues will not be subject to any international mediation, has to be dealt with bilaterally. And I think that is the stance that we will continue to hold in time to come.
Right, Mr. Shringla. So New Delhi has clearly laid out that it will not accept any kind of intervention or mediation on Jammu and Kashmir. Let's also talk about how India has the backing of 4 permanent UNSC members on the Pahalgam terror attack. Do you think that Pakistan right now is being isolated diplomatically on the global stage?
I think we've been very effective in reaching out to our partners, to our friends, and across the globe, actually, in diplomatic terms. We have not only seen interventions at the highest level. The Prime Minister himself has spoken to a number of leaders, including President Putin lately, but also External Affairs Minister has called all of the members, the UN Security Council, permanent and non-permanent. We have briefed envoys in Delhi. Our missions have briefed their own, foreign offices in the countries that they're accredited to. And I think we have been able to make the case that there has been a major terrorist attack perpetrated against us, and that unless this is dealt with the full force of international law and the support of the international community, these acts of terrorism will continue. There has to be a suitable deterrence, and that Pakistan has to understand that sponsoring and supporting terrorism as an instrument of their foreign policy will not work in the future. So there has to be a significant and suitable deterrent in a manner that will ensure that Pakistan does not find it sort of convenient to resort to terrorism to distract its public from its own failures and shortcomings, and at the same time acting as a cat's paw for others, if that is the case. And I think the UN Security Council, you're right, they're going to meet later this evening, and I have no doubt that we will have strong support, not only from the permanent members, but also from the non-permanent members of the UN Security Council.
Right, like you also mentioned, the closed UNSC meeting will take place in just a short while from now. Are you expecting any concrete results from the closed UNSC meeting?
So if I understand correctly, Pakistan, which is a non-permanent member of the Security Council as of now, has called for close consultations. Close consultations are normally between council members. There could be an outcome in terms of a press statement or a presidential statement, but often there is no outcome. And if there is an outcome, then it should reflect the correct position. It should reflect the position objectively, not only to condemn terrorism, but also to make it clear that terrorism has, has the involvement of organizations like Lashkar-e-Toiba, and that this act of terrorism emanates from Pakistan because two of the four perpetrators who've been identified as being Pakistani nationals. So there is definitely a link with Pakistan, and I think that at least in terms of what the council brings out has to reflect the reality of support by Pakistan of terrorist groups and the sponsorship these groups get from that country in terms of cross-border terrorism.
Right, Mr. Shringla, my last question to you. With, of course, global pressure intensifying and global powers urging India and Pakistan to restrain and not to take any action, which country, according to you right now, can ease tensions between Pakistan and India?
So we are, we are not an irresponsible country. We have dealt with situations in the past. We will deal with this situation as well. India, I think, has no interest in ensuring a prolonged or a serious conflict. Our focus is on achieving our vision of becoming a developed country in the next 20-25 years. We don't want to be distracted by this, nor do we want to be hyphenated again with Pakistan. But I think we need to make sure that this issue is dealt with and dealt with appropriately so that this does not come back as a recurring thorn on our side. And I think that is very, very important when we talk about the fact that we have to engage, the larger powers, our friends and partners in the international arena on this issue. I think it's very clear that not only do we expect our partners to condemn terrorism, but to refrain from any equivalence of equating a victim of terrorism with the perpetrator of terrorism. And as I think analyst Brahma Chelani has said, being diplomatically neutral is like being morally neutral. It is like being strategically tone deaf. And so we have to make it clear that not only do we expect that these countries condemn terrorism, but they also allow a certain measure of response from India, which is expected under these circumstances, and should certainly, I think, prepare the ground for that rather than talk about trying to de-escalate or trying to talk about two nuclear-armed neighbors. I think that is again being tone deaf. What is very important is that there's an act of terrorism and there has to be an appropriate and significant response in order to ensure that this does not happen again, and that Pakistan does not choose to use terrorism as an instrument of its foreign policy in the future.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Shringla, for taking our time and joining us here on WION.
Thank you, Aisha.